Hi guys, Camp Director Jordan here, and today we're going to pack medications for camp. So, first and foremost, you are going to need to print the permission for medication at Camp Jackson form off of your Camp in Touch account. This is under Forms and Documents. It's one of 5 that you must complete before campers come to camp. For more directions on all of those forms, you can view the Forms and Documents video. Today I'm going to focus on medication. So there's 2 types of medication campers could bring to camp. Prescription medication or anything that's considered over-the-counter or vitamins or supplements. So for any of the above, including prescriptions, vitamins, supplements, herbal stuff, melatonin, anything, creams, itch creams, things like that, ointments, that all has to be written out on one of these forms. This is the front and this is the back, and this form has to be signed by a healthcare provider. So one thing you're going to want to make sure you do when you sign up for camp shortly after, before your kid comes to camp, you need to schedule an appointment with your physician if they're bringing medication, okay? Either way, you're going to need a physical form, a document of their recent physical, and as well as their shot records. So both of those things, immunization records and a physical, proof of a recent physical within 24 months of attending camp, you must acquire those, okay? Whether your kid's coming to camp with medication or not. If they are coming with medication, they also need this form, and it must be signed by a healthcare provider. If you come to camp with medications and you do not have this form signed by a physician, we cannot take the meds for your kid, okay? We are a state licensed child care facility and we cannot take the meds. So, let's say we filled out this form, right? I took it with me to my child's doctor. I brought with me the things I wanted to bring to camp, and I had my child's doctor fill this portion out, okay? I'll walk you through what that looks like here as a close-up. So first of all, you're going to include your camper's first and last name here, your first and last name, sign it as the guardian, and include a date. You must make sure the actual medication name is here, along with the dosage recommended and the time of day it should be administered. Even for vitamins or supplements, we must know the exact dosage and the time of day to administer. For an as-needed medication, you must write in the number of hours it should be given. The back of the form is an area to select if your child is allowed to take over-the-counter medications at camp. You need to select the medications that are permitted and then select your session your camper is attending. And please, please, please make sure a physician signs the bottom. You should also include the physician's phone number here. To review, make sure that this form includes your child's first and last name, your physician's first and last name, their signature and their phone number, the date authorized by the physician, as well as the name of medication for each medication you are turning in at camp, including vitamins, supplements, and over-the-counter medication. We need a dosage, a time the medication is to be given, the route of medication, the length of time between dosages if it is an as-needed medication, the reason for the medication, the side effects or reactions to watch for, and any special instructions given by your physician. I'm going to pack my kids' meds now. What I'm going to need is a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, and I'm going to write their first and last name. For this case, we're going to do example camper. Okay. Let's say I'm going to bring, exactly as it matches on this form, his ADHD medication. Okay. I have got the correct medication, the correct dosage, the time, and it all matches what's on this labeled container that is the exact same information as is on the form. The other thing we need to make sure of is, let's say my child is attending camp for 6 days, there's going to be 6 pills in this container, not more than that. We're only going to send the amount we need for our child to take at camp in these bottles, okay? So it's the original labeled bottle, and it matches the information on my signed form, okay? And that's all I need to bring. We will walk through the steps of how to administer everything for your kid when you check in at camp. So prescription meds are good. Now, I also want to bring his vitamins and his elderberry syrup. So again, example camper. And I've written down his Haya vitamin, how many pills, what time of day, and then I've got the same number of vitamins. So 6 days, 6 vitamins in here. It's the original container, and it's going in, okay? Now, I wanted to send him with this Benadryl itch relief stick, but guess what? Camp has everything we need to treat an itchy bug bite or something like that. And on my form, I selected, I choose to accept all medications below, which includes anti-itch cream and allergy products, calamine lotion, right? So he, I know, is going to get taken care of at camp with the resources they have in their health office, and I've signed off on that, and the doctor has signed off on that. So I don't need to pack this little itch stick, okay? Camp has cough syrup for kids, and I signed off on it right here, but I would like him to take this elderberry syrup because it's what we use at home, and he already really likes it, and I trust it. So we're going to use this, and I'm going to put this in here. It's in the original bottle. All the information on the bottle matches the information on my form. Okay, and I'm going to put it in here. Another example of some things you could send are nasal spray. Okay, if I wanted to send this nasal spray, I would have to write it on here, and my doctor would have to sign off on it. Okay. Other really common ones are allergy medications, things like Claritin. We can provide them. Okay, it's right here. Loratadine is Claritin products. We can provide them with that. So you don't need to send Claritin. If you did want to send your own, it would have to be on the form, and it would have to be signed by a doctor. Okay, so if you're going to send more than 3 medications with your camper, you're just going to print this form a couple times so that you have enough space to write in all the information about the medications you want to send to camp, and make sure again that your doctor signs it. 2 additional things I'd like to touch on are EpiPens and inhalers. So if your child has an EpiPen or an inhaler, again, we need the labeled packaging to match what's getting turned in on the form here, and it must be signed by a doctor. If your child has an additional condition, like a seizure condition, for instance, we need a copy of their seizure plan, okay? Some EpiPens come with a copy of an EpiPen plan. It's better to bring more documentation than not enough, so that we have what we need as a licensed child care facility to administer your child's meds to them legally and safely. So the big takeaway here is please do not bring medication in a container that is not the original labeled container. We need to make sure it's in a labeled Ziploc bag, okay, with your child's first and last name. And we need to make sure that all medications in the bag match all medications listed on our med form. Okay, and that this med form, most importantly, is signed by a doctor. We need them to tell us exactly what time of day and exactly what amount of medication you would like your child to receive or is prescribed. And we also need them, if it's as needed, remember, we need it to say as needed every blank hours. So what's the minimum number of hours that they can take it in incremental amounts, okay? If you have more questions about medications at camp, please email us at cjackson@puebloymca.org. This is a critical piece of sending kids to camp. This has to be right. If you come to check-in and you do not have this form and you do not have their meds with matching labels, we are not able to accept their medications, okay? So make sure you get this right. If you have questions or you feel overwhelmed, email us. We will help you, and we can't wait to see you and your camper at camp. Bye, guys.